Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here this morning. I appreciated Congressman Cloud's comments and questions about the vaccine mandates a couple of questions ago and what they're doing to our FSA offices in Kansas and ability to deliver the services. So thank you for that and attention there. I represent the big first district of Kansas, which is the third largest ag producing district in the country by dollars. International trade is a key component to economic growth and recovery. Mr. Secretary, just 2 years ago, China made a deal with the United States, the Phase 1 China trade deal, to import $36 billion worth of U.S. ag products in 2020 and 2021. As you know, China failed to meet that commitment by close to $7 billion. That's 20% against $7 billion. It feels like China sold America a bill of goods and that Biden administration has made no effort to rectify the situation. By refusing to hold China accountable, the Biden administration is hurting all American farmers, ranchers, and producers, from wheat farmers in Kansas to rice growers in California. A few weeks ago, I understand you stood on a stage in a room full of producers and acknowledged that China fell short on their end of the deal, and in response to our concerns, you said, but here's the deal with our Chinese friends. They're light on what they've committed to purchase, and that's why Ambassador Tai, our U.S. Trade Representative, continues to converse with China about the necessity of living up totally and completely to the Phase 1 trade agreement, making up that deficit over the next several years. The next several years was never part of this 2-year deal that we're now at the end of. China said they would purchase a certain amount of ag products, and they didn't. Mr. Ernie, my question is, I join farmers and ranchers in their concern about this trade deficit with China and with your remarks. What should I tell Kansans about how you, Ambassador Tai, and President Biden are taking immediate action to hold China accountable so they buy our ag products and put upward pressure on prices?
Well, I think your constituents should be reminded that we have a record year in ag exports. A record that was set in 2013 when I was Secretary before was surpassed this year, or last year in 2021, and it's expected to anticipate that that record will be broken again this year, so that you can talk about the fact that there have been 2 record years of ag exports, which is one of the reasons why commodity prices across the board are significantly stronger and higher than they were a year ago today. Secondly, you can tell folks that there is an ongoing negotiation with China. I don't know where your figures are coming from, but my figures say that they are $16 billion light, and they are also light on 7 very important sanitary and phytosanitary barriers. And so we are giving China, we're putting them on notice that this is something that we want them to live up to the Phase 1 agreement. We want our Mexican friends to live up to USMCA. We want our Canadian friends to live up to USMCA. We want our trading partners to live up to agreements. And so the first and foremost program and step here is to indicate our focus on trade enforcement.
On the input side, the other big issue that I constantly hear from our producers is we've seen a 4 to 5 times increase in fertilizer costs, dramatically increasing input costs for producers here as we're starting to head into the spring. I know that you were asking about this earlier, and I think the response was that we should tell producers to decrease the use of fertilizer. That's not going to cut it for my producers who have had plans in place and crop rotations and such for years. A lot of this comes down to decreasing import. China's no longer exporting fertilizer like they were. What do we do there? What should we tell farmers, and how do we improve and really decrease input prices, as we're about to see our producers get squeezed? Their margins are going to be squeezed greatly if we don't do something quickly.
Well, we've been historically opposed to export controls, and will continue to be historically opposed to export controls. Number one. Number two, I think it is important and necessary, as farmers understand and learn more about precision agriculture, we're going to see farmers understand and appreciate the importance and opportunity to actually produce more with less. This is not a suggestion where you simply eliminate the utilization of fertilizer. This is a suggestion where you understand and appreciate where it needs to be applied, right place, right time, right amount.
I agree. And a lot of my producers have done that for a long, long time. They still have to buy fertilizer this year.
The time of the